welcome to the Today's Woman Show. I am here with my fellow Rotarian, Jean West, who is also the immediate past president for Rotary. We like to tout that not only are we Rotarians, but so is also King Charles. Is that right?
That's right. He wears his pin along with all that other stuff.
All that other stuff. And so I'm excited to have you here and to talk about some of the initiatives going on with Rotary, specifically the West Louisville Housing Initiative that you all launched to address inequities with African Americans in housing in Louisville. How exactly did that program come about?
So now to take you back to the summer of 2020 with the summer of Breonna Taylor, if you will, when there was, the city was ablaze with social unrest and many of the inequities and inequalities that are prevalent in the African American community became front and center. Rotary, as you know, has typically stayed away from political, if you will, kind of causes, but we are always engaged in our community. So our president at the time, Luke Schmidt, got together with the Rotarians and we said, we can't be tone deaf to what is going on in our community. What can we do? We decided to hold 2 days of forums, 2 weekends, a Saturday, 8 hours each Saturday, and we brought in everyone from the educational community, the justice community, the arts community, the civic community, leaders of and CEOs, and we asked them, what do we need to do in this city to move forward from what was happening at the time? The one theme that kept coming back was a lack of wealth in the African American community, and that's because there was a lack of home ownership. Home ownership is the first step toward generational wealth, and that was missing in our in the community. And after hearing that over and over again, Luke Schmidt, who was president at the time, decided to form a committee, the Community Impact Committee, to look at what we could do as a club and as members. I mean, we have members across the board. We have attorneys, we have owners of real estate companies, we have bankers, etc., to come up with a project that would allow people who don't ordinarily qualify for a traditional home loan to be able to get a loan to purchase their home. We're not talking about renting. We're talking about purchasing a home. So we are hoping to raise $5 million to put 63 families in homes within the next 2 years.
There are a lot of skeptics, right? There's a lot of criticism that comes around, well, there's a reason why there's a wealth gap in the Black community, or there's a lot of people that don't necessarily agree with focusing efforts around the Black community. Can you shed some light on the data around the inequities in housing, specifically in the Black community in this city, nationally?
Our research showed that 80% of the African Americans in the West Louisville community, and we're talking about Russell, 80% are renters. It's interesting. During our forums, one of the persons that we had to come to speak with us was Yvette Gentry, who was a former assistant police chief, but at the time, she was head of Metro United Way. She told us an incredible story. She said, growing up in eastern Kentucky, she had a white grandfather and a Black grandfather. They both went to war. They both fought in World War II. Her white grandfather could come back and take advantage of loans, programs for VAs to purchase a home. Her Black grandfather died a renter because those policies were not available to him. So that really struck a chord with us. She later became our first African American police chief, like months later she did. But that told us that there was a huge gap, and we started to look into it. And I gotta tell you, I think this is the only program of its kind in the country, and we have other Rotary clubs looking at this. The Rotary Club of Oakland is also looking at our model. to start that program there.
And so with that, obviously, you all have a goal, right, of raising $5 million for this initiative. How much have you raised so far, and who are some of the supporters that you all have?
Well, we have partnered with Park Community Bank that is going to actually, Rotary is not going to be a bank. We're not going to be lenders. Sure. So Park Community Bank is going to actually service the loans. We have a very generous grant from Fifth Third Bank. Kim Hulbauer was also one of the members of Rotary on the team to construct this project. They have committed $100,000 this year and have committed $500,000 to the project. Westco Bank is also a partner. We are looking, and we've reached out to other businesses and the city to help with some of that funding, and that's all in progress. But you'll be hearing much more about the program in October and how it's going to be administered.
Jean, thank you so very much for stopping in and joining us. For those that you are viewing, thank you. We'll be back next. We're discussing allyship in this October's issue. We'll be back.